Technology has helped us excel in many ways in teaching, but it has brought its own barrage of problems. With modern communication, news travels fast, and schools have to often contend with, plaintively speaking, fluctuating trust issues between media, politicians, and parents. But how do you deal with that? What are the challenges that you have to overcome in this digital age? Mr. AMOL, who is the MD at Shemrock and Shemford Group of Schools, will now talk on this exact topic.
Good morning, everyone. My name is AMOL. I'm the Managing Director of Shemrock and Shemford Group of Schools. Just a brief introduction of where I come from. We have a chain of 625 preschools, primary schools, and 10+2 schools across India, Nepal, and Bangladesh. Why you sing Chota Bheem is that we've signed up Chota Bheem as our brand ambassador. And personally, the reason I feel I deserve to speak in front of all of you is not my business achievements, if I can use the word, is the fact that I've studied in 12 schools. I've studied in a residential school, day school, convent school, private school, government school, boys school, co-ed school, special school, regular school. The only kind of school I haven't gone to is a girls' school. And so what I speak for everyone in general. We're all aware that India is home to 1/3 of the world's illiterates. And the government school sector, is anybody from the government school sector here? Any show of hands? Expected. So that's what's happening. The government doesn't want to learn. The government doesn't want to innovate. So what we see is, and we see an Indian parent population who has very high aspirations for the children. So you have large number of illiterates, the government doing a substandard job, you have parents pushing for education. So private schools and parents should be a marriage made in heaven, right? A marriage, perfect, demand, supply. We've all learned basic economics. But unlike most Indian marriages, it's turning out to be a bit of not just an arranged marriage, but a forced arranged marriage as well. And I'll tell you why. The biggest reason is, we say school education, private school education should be not-for-profit. And that's something that nobody talks about. And that's why EdTech Review asked me to come all the way from Delhi to speak about this. But nobody else is willing to talk. Charity, seriously, private schools in India are charitable. The land I have to buy at market rates. I take loans from banks at commercial rates. Government taxes I pay, electricity I pay, commercial taxes, everybody, teacher salary, everything is everybody is making money except the person who wants to set up a school said, you're not allowed to take a single rupee out of the school. And so who sets up a school today in India? Somebody who knows how to manage. Not the people, not educators don't want to set up schools. They can't set up schools because it's so expensive. And what happens is when you attract this class of people to set up schools, naturally, the kind of school system that we have and the kind of problems that we see is going to be like that, because that is the kind of people you've attracted and said these are the people who can set up schools, who feel it's for charity. Everybody knows what kind of charity is going on. You know as educators, I know, bureaucrats know, politicians know, the voters know. Yet we're all living in this kind of denial. Who's going to bell the cat? Nobody's willing to say it out properly. And there are challenges with for-profit as well. I'm not saying for-profit is the answer for everything. So what non-profit says, deficit is yours. So if I set up a school today, I can't afford to pay the salaries. I have to somehow finance my deficit by taking a loan against my house. And if I get a surplus, I'm not allowed to take that as well. So as a result, the kind of people who are setting up schools, that's how they set up a school. What's the purpose of the school? To educate you on the ways of the world. What is the curriculum? Government propaganda. Infrastructure, how do you build a school? You build the walls, corridor, and so on. You can take a picture if you want this. There's only one system apart from the school system which is designed like this. Can anybody share that? Anything? Do these rules remind you of anything else? It's clear now. The same rules apply for schools and the same rules apply for prisons as well. But if you were to design a prison today, tell me how it's going to be different. So the kind of people we are attracting, the kind of schools we are attracting, and this is our curriculum. Math, English, science, social science, MESS. The world outside is not like that. What are we preparing our children for? This is a picture from 150 years ago, and this is a picture of a school today, a high-end school today. What has changed? Just a projector? I could take a teacher from 150 years back and put her in today's school, and she'll do a pretty good job. I'm sure she can teach from Brennan Martin English. She can, history would be difficult, of course, but otherwise all subjects should be okay. Social sciences and languages. And as a result, because of these kind of reasons, the kind of people we attract to set up schools, this is the kind of output we are producing. And this is what parents feel about private schools as well. Can you blame them? I'm sure if you are educators here, you're also a parent as well. And maybe your child goes to another school. Being from the sector, you would not say it openly. These are common every year at the beginning of the session. We have these kind of reports. The last line, because it's Tamil Nadu, I'll just translate that. It says, the loot that's happening in schools. Parents protesting against fee hikes. Don't these people realize that there's inflation? Salaries have to go up. We have to compete for good talent and good teachers, so I have to pay them more. But why are these hikes happening? Why don't these hikes happen in other sectors? Why only schools? Because that's the kind of people who are setting up schools. This is an advertisement for a college. Whoever is running this college doesn't deserve to have the title of an educator. He doesn't talk about the BTech, he doesn't talk about his placements, he doesn't talk about curriculum, faculty, he talks about the mileage. Join my college because the bike I'm giving you is going to give you a good mileage. Can you blame the parents? Seriously? And recently, a child in Delhi committed suicide for being failed in class 9th. The teachers were arrested. The Delhi-Noida expressway was stopped by parents for 4 hours, demanding that the principal be arrested. What do you think the principal had to do with the child's suicide? So this mob with pitchforks is coming after you. You may feel as a school principal, that's not my school. That's happening somewhere else. That's what we all think. But tomorrow it could be you. It could be you. The surprising thing is, the principal of this school is getting some CBSE awards for its teachers, and they very proudly these days are putting it on social media as well. Not only are other schools not concerned, but the same school is also not concerned. I saw a very disturbing image on WhatsApp, and I didn't want to share it on this platform. It was a set of 5 people wearing those bomb blast suits where they go to defuse the bombs, and it says teachers going to school. It was very disturbing. I didn't want to make it a part of my presentation, but I can't get that image out of my head. In Gurgaon, we had a very high profile murder case, and a survey was done. Now you have this image of private schools, you have these so-called edupreneurs who are setting up schools, and this is what's happening. This is the mess. The reason all this is happening is there's a trust deficit happening. Nobody trusts anybody. We don't believe them. Nobody believes anybody. The politicians don't believe the schools don't believe the politicians, the parents, the media. It's completely, and who's suffering? The child is suffering in the whole process. Because we're all here because of our children. And we need this partnership. We need an environment of positivity. I can't ask my son today to pick up and read the newspaper. We all need positivity around. This is the future of our country we're talking about, for God's sake. And here we are, media, and everybody, the parents, everybody's just talking nonsense about each other. And our school secretary has the audacity to say that I came from the coal sector I removed the coal mafia. Now my job is to remove the education mafia. He's referring to private school owners, edupreneurs, educators. I asked him, Mr. Secretary, I've spent my life in education. We all have. But just because of a few bad apples, you called everybody mafia. Mafia? Isn't that too strong a word to call us? It's very demotivating. Whereas you should be attracting people to set up schools. Your role should be to get more and more people to come and open schools, because when there is this competition, there is choice. When there is choice, there will be quality. We've seen what has happened in telecom. We have seen what has happened in the airline industry. Why can't it happen in the school sector? I flew in Indigo just now. They didn't say, oh, you want to sit down? Pay some extra fees. That's what schools do. You want coffee? Really? You want to wake up? Okay, not 100 rupees, you pay me 300 rupees. Nobody does that. But schools, we tend to get away with this. So the solution was also proposed by the same person, our ex-school secretary, Mr. Anil Saroop. He's got a hashtag, Nexus of Good. And I'm going to give you an 8-step approach on how we can do it. And the reason I've flown all the way from Delhi is because I need each and every school in the country to practice this. It cannot be done overnight by one school, by one group of schools, by my 600 schools. No. Each one of you has to pick up your pen and write down what you're going to do about it. And what I would like is, I'm going to give you 8-step approach. I would like you to write down 5 things that you will go back and implement immediately. I'll be giving you pointers. This is not meant to be a one-way speech. My talk was till now was to make you realize how serious the problem is. And you have to do it for your own school. Today we've reached a stage when somebody asked me, what about CCTVs in our school? CCTV is not for the children's protection, it's for your protection. You are guilty until proven innocent today in a school. That's how low the trust levels have gone. That's what educators tell me. I have CCTV to protect myself. I have CCTVs in my office. I want to record what parents say because they can accuse me of anything. I record all my incoming calls. That's what principals are telling me. How are we going to end this? The only way is what I'm going to share with you. So please do take out your pens and make notes. First, evaluate your own policies. It's very, very important that you do not take parents for a ride. They can see through it. When you ask for 500 rupees for a picnic to the nearby district park, they know how much it actually costs you. Everybody figures, and that is where you lose it. When you ask parents to buy 5 sets of uniform because you want to set 5 sets of uniform for 5 different days, parents can see that. Look inside you first. Tomorrow, when parents come after you, it will be because you have done all these things with them. When those 400 parents were blocking the highway for one child, why weren't the other 2,000 parents of the school saying that no, the teachers were right in their duty? If the government has mandated you can't fail anybody till grade 8, and if the class 9, the child is not ready to go to class 10th, what options do you have now? So what was wrong in what the teachers did? So why weren't the other parents standing up for the school, for the teachers? Because this is all has been done. Parents have felt that they have been cheated in the past. And when you have policies, if you choose to have private publishers, for example, if you choose to have any of the apps outside, any of the products outside, discuss it with the parents. Tell them why it's important. Just don't impose things on parents as well. They don't understand why. They think there's a kickback, there's some scheme right now. Because this is what's happening. This is how we're all, the mindset of parents today. So please share the financials, share everything openly as much as you can. I know you're operating under a non-profit trust, but at least don't try and fleece something. Try and go for technology options where it's optional. If somebody wants to pay, yes, please have it. Those who don't want to pay, they don't need to avail that service. I tell EdTech entrepreneurs all the time, that's the best model you can come up for my schools. Just come to me, and whichever parents wants it, pays for it, I'm okay with that. But to force things down parents, I mean, there is this GPS thing for schools. I have been pitched at 200 rupees per annum, where parents get an SMS. My child's school is charging me 300 rupees per month. What does that tell me? Where is that money going? So please do not try and do that. There are reasonable ways to make money. So first is that. Second, as teachers, please get to know your parents and children at at a personal level. The key to build, in any relationship, whether it's our spouses or with our families or with friends, it's communication. The first basis for communication is get to know them. And even if you don't like the parents, fake it. Fake it. But it's for the child's sake. The child needs to know my parents and my teachers are on the same team. What you're doing is for the child's interest, and get them to know them at the personal level. You then set the expectations in your class that this is what you want, but have that human empathy. I remember I've been in so many schools. I was lucky if the teacher knew my name during the parent-teacher meeting. I would be over the moon if the teacher would say my name. I mean, what do you think? If the teacher doesn't know my name, do you think she actually cares about how I'm learning? What are my learning milestones? No. So as an educator, it is your responsibility. I know principals who know the names of almost every child in their school. It shows. Make a communication policy. Make a policy. Today in technology, with technology, there are so many options open for talking. Your communication has to be two-way, it has to be frequent, and it has to be consistent. As I said, for building trust, you have to build communication channels. Last year in the EdTech review, I had spoken about how to make a communication policy. Saransh, I don't think you've posted that video of social media in schools. You guys still have it, or can you post it? Or I'll in a week's time just search for my name, AMOL ARORA, and EdTech review social media policy. I'll make a video on my PowerPoint. If you guys can find it, I'll post it up. So there's a whole strategy on how to go about making your social media policy. Who will post? How it has to be posted? What time should you post? I'll not get into that because that is not the time we have for today. But I'll post that video again because the PPT is still with me from last year when I spoke to their call. Calling parents as well. And calling not to complain. This I'm talking about the beginning of the school year. Call to tell them. So first is you build that rapport, understand them, know them, get to know your parents and get to know your students. Your first call should be to tell them about good behavior. Because always the conversation in our schools today, during the parent-teacher meetings, is always about parents trying to put the burden on the teacher and the teacher trying to put the burden back on the parent. I have paid the fees, what are you doing? Sir, you have to spend time with him. Sir, we can't do it, we have a big class. That's why I told you I have studied in 12 different schools in my 12 years of schooling. Every PTM in every school in India, in abroad was the same. We're all guilty of that. One tip I can give you is pick 3 students per week. Now I can't say that every week start talking to parents and start giving up positive things. You'll go crazy as a teacher, as educators. And tell your teachers to say something positive about them. Put it on record. Send a WhatsApp message. Say whatever you want. The medium does not matter. Right now, you have to convert from being adversaries who are trying to blame each other to saying that we're all on the same team. And when the child hears this, I don't know from you, but when I used to hear a positive comment from my teachers, months used to go back when I used to have that, kind of, wow, that's what she feels about me. Next is build bridges. And here are some ideas of how you can build these bridges with the home. Home visits. A lot of schools have started doing that. If it's not safe, you can always ask somebody to accompany the female staff. But it makes a huge difference in your understanding of why the child behaves a particular way is by home visits. Special day programs, call not only the parents, the grandparents, grandmother day, grandfather, call them to the school. Your rapport building is not with just the parent, it's with the whole family. Let them feel they are invited and not just you expect them to come to the school only to pay the fee. Make your PTMs innovative. Get somebody to sponsor some food. Have a little showcase of children's achievements as well. PTMs are the most nervous times for everybody. For us, it's like, parents are coming, let's hope nothing happens. Teachers, we all have done that when we've all been stressed out. For students, for parents, everybody. Your newsletters, of course. As a school head, you should be checking the diaries as well. A lot of principals don't do that, and I make it a point that you should do some random sampling of diaries, see what tone the teachers are putting their homeworks in. If they're writing up the homework or assignment or anything, what is the tone? Media relations. Today, it's very, very important to keep calling the media. Send them gifts, small gifts. I'm not talking about whiskey bottles and all that. I'm just saying small gifts, and acknowledgement of what they do. Make it easy for them to print news. So the more media coverage schools get of the good work we are all doing, the better it will be for the whole sector. We all need to pitch into that. Whatever achievements you have, please share with the media. And write your press releases in a way, because the media people are thinking, why would my readers be interested in this? You celebrated, so today in North Monday is Janmashtami, Lord Krishna's birthday. So what? So 200 schools are going to send their press release to them. They're not concerned about that. Give a spin, put yourself in the reporter's shoes. Why would he want to publish this? What is so special about the way you have done Janmashtami? Think of that. And involve the community as well. Not just now the family, but the community as well. Call the shops in your neighborhood to your school on occasions as well. Why shouldn't you call local businesses? They'll spread great word of mouth for you as well. I'm not asking, this is not charitable thing, this is actually marketing as well. Ask them to come to your school on occasions. Invite the local grocer as your chief guest for a small class function as well. Who says you can't do that? But imagine the respect they get. They've never been asked to do that. In schools we get called to stage, we do that ribbon cutting, we used to all this. But for small-time businessmen in your area, they've never had this kind of regard. And in schools we have so much opportunity. We have so many celebrations. We have so much happening in our schools that why not make it a point that no, I'm going to connect with my community as well. Because when things go bad, they will be the ones who stand with you. I have seen it in examples where they have come and said, I know that guy, I'll manage him. Ma'am, don't worry. They come up to you automatically without you having asked. But you have to build that relationship first. You can't expect just random people to walk into your school when problems go. So be prepared for anything that goes wrong, is to have that nexus of good. And use ICT. And that I'll cover in my other presentation as well, which will be online. So your Facebook, your Instagram today, you can have accounts for your school level, class level. If you are IT savvy enough to engage with the world, you can engage with other schools across the world through Twitter. Have your own YouTube channel as well for your schools. Tell the parents what amazing work you're doing on Facebook, on YouTube. You can have live streaming of events. What would I pay to see my child perform in the classroom? I made him learn a rhyme for maybe 3 hours. I practiced very hard, but I don't get to see the final outcome. I asked the teacher, how was he? So he did well. That's what he said to everybody, right? But for me, those small nuances, his body language was something I would have cherished. Why can't you do it as a school? And all this can be done. This is nothing that I'm talking which involves any money, just an initiative. Sending out parent surveys. You can use SurveyMonkey, which is a free tool, or Google Forms as well. They're very easy to use. It's free. And then acting on that feedback. At least parents know you're listening to them. If you can't involve the whole schoolers. And personalized mails as well. Don't send a mail with BCC to all. Because right now the way schools communicate is broadcasting. Oh, we've done an event, post it on Facebook. We've done this. It's almost like you're sitting with a loudspeaker and shouting out there. There is no intent to communicate one-to-one, human to human. MailChimp you should use, it's free for 2,000 users, where you can actually put dynamically, puts the name of the person in the dear parent name. Your child's name. Automatically it will feed up. It looked like a personalized mail coming. I know you can't write mail to 2,000 parents if you've got 2,000 parents, but this will help you personalize that mail. So it's Rahul's annual function. We would really want you to come because all children in class 6 are participating. All this can be dynamic. With one template you have to write, and everything populates very, very easily. And how do you learn this? I can't teach you right now. We're short of time. Go to YouTube. Learn it. That's what we're telling our children, right? That's the world we live in. And 4 free tools, last of all. So that was my 8-step approach. The 4 tools that you should consider using in your school, which are free of cost for communication. Remind, Seesaw. Remind is a communication tool. The advantage with these tools is the mobile number is not shown. So teacher's mobile number, if she wants to communicate, or the principal's mobile number is not disclosed, and you can keep communicating. Seesaw, which is excellent for building student portfolios of what they've done throughout the year. Class Dojo is excellent for communication, but has a behavior component is very good in that. And of course, Google Classroom, which is a whole learning management system. Again, free of cost. You don't need to buy anything. So I would like each one of, I'm going to leverage the knowledge that's there in this room now. And since we're short of time, I can't ask everyone to share what they would do. I would like you to write down 5 things, first of all, that you will immediately go back to your schools and do. If we are, I'll give you 2 minutes. I'll give you 1 minute. 5 things immediately. Okay, I'm going to keep chat now. Please write 5 things, and I'll tell you where I'm coming. This is an activity. I'm going to have everybody's knowledge shared together now. So we all have a real large data bank of ideas. What is practically doable? Please write down 5 things you would do in your school right now when you go back on Monday and implement. Now what I want you to do is click a picture of what you've written and send a WhatsApp to this number. Click a picture of what you've written. I will ask somebody to type all the ideas into one large document, and that will be shared back to you. So if we have 100 people in this room, into 5, you're going to get 500 implementable ideas to do in your school. So the idea is to collate the collective ideas that all of you have, and across cities, across the country, and come up with a mega list of what every school, as I said, we all are in this together. It's not my school, it's not your school, we all have to build this trust. This nexus of good has to carry on. And let's not end this at this conference as well. Do keep in touch with me as well. I have nothing here to sell to you. But do keep in touch. We all have to get our communications going. This, if you scan this with your phone, your camera, you will reach my LinkedIn account. And that's where I tend to be most active. And if you do want to keep in touch with me, that's where I'll be after this. So thank you so much. I hope this was a useful session for all of you. I look forward to hearing the best of ideas from everybody, and let's build this trust together. Let's overcome this, and let's build the nexus of good. Thank you so much.